Welcome back to the role-playing system of Tales of Alethrion.
Yeah,
What are we going to focus on today, Andreas?
we're gonna focus on combat skills.
So basically only this part of your character sheet in your...
Yeah. Cool. And I've made a little character for Mikkel to have a little fun battle. He's gonna be using this figure. He's not gonna be Pikachu, but just use your imagination because he's a sorcerer. He's
Yes.
a human sorcerer,
Yes.
and he's going to be fighting Mario, who's actually a zombie.
There's a zombie here,
Yeah, it's a zombie, yeah.
and where Pikachu is a sorcerer.
Imagination.
Nintendo-themed RPG here.
Yeah.
And we've also moved ourselves down to the dungeon. As you can see, we're in the basement, and we have tried to make it a little crisp, getting the mood right. We have some little candle lights here. There's no fire in them, but
Safety first, people. Safety first.
yeah. Now we have the mood set. So let's get into some combat.
Yeah. So first of all,
Let the battle begin.
let it commence.
Okay.
First of all, the combat skills are divided into two different types. There are weapon skills, which kind of like the name says.
Yeah.
It's a list of skills for every individual weapon in the game, and the more ranks, the better you are at a certain weapon skill, the better you are at using that weapon. Pretty logical.
Yes.
And then there are battle skills, and those are more unique. They consist of, to take a couple of examples, they consist of like things such as counterspelling and like combat maneuvers, like if you want to grapple someone or push someone, and it consists of stuff like dodging and soaking, which are very essential and used very often.
Yeah.
To avoid damage or to soak damage. Have you seen what the name is of your sorcerer?
My name is Ghamdalph.
Yeah.
Not Gandalf, but
Ghamdalph. Yeah.
Ghamdalph.
Yeah.
Ghamdalph.
Yeah.
And I'm still a scholar.
Not Gandalf.
And I'm the player, and Andreas is the dungeon master today.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So the first thing you do when you get into combat is that you roll initiative, and initiative is actually also a battle skill. And you can see your battle skills at the top of your character sheet, up here. And you can see your initiative is over here.
So I have 4.
This is your total dice pool. So you have 6 dice.
6 dice in
To
total.
roll your initiative. And this zombie has, let me just see here.
And that's because I have 4 in rank and 2 in intelligence. So
Yeah.
it's just in total.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your dice pool and your rank isn't exactly the same thing as extra points.
That's good to really get this sorted out, you know.
Yes. So your dice pool modifier and your stat
Yes.
together are your dice pool.
Okay.
Because ranks and dice pool modifier aren't the same in this game.
What's the difference then?
It's because the more ranks you can get other benefits than just dice pools. You can get like rerolls, so that you can reroll dice, or you can upgrade dice, so that if you roll a 4, you can upgrade it to like a 5. And this is where we're going to go into something that we've been talking about before. Like when you roll your dice, a success is a 5 or 6 on a die. So you want to roll as many successes as possible in all kinds of scenarios. But let's roll our initiative.
Let's do it.
And this zombie has only 1 die for initiative. And initiative works a little different than other rolls because you add your total
6.
dice pool. Yeah, you add your total dice pool to your roll.
Yeah.
So basically you can't lose
Okay.
against the zombie. So what I'm doing is I'm rolling my initiative, and I only have 1 die. And I didn't roll a success.
You rolled 1?
So my is just 1 because I add my dice pool.
Okay.
But this is only for initiative.
Okay.
So you roll
I rolled here.
Your 6 dice.
And I rolled 2 6s, 2 2s, and 2 1s.
Awesome. So you had 2 successes, and you add that to your dice pool when it's, again, only for initiative. So you have 8.
8 in total, 2 plus my total dice pool.
Yeah, exactly. But in this situation, you couldn't lose because, zombie, they're very, very slow.
And my total dice pool is way more than that ever could get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, cue the battle music.
All right, but it's...
you go first.
It's my initiative, and I would like to use a magic skill. I would like to use...
You like to use a spell?
Yes, I would like to use a spell. And more specifically, my Frostbolt.
Oh, cool. You can do that. You just roll your spellcasting skill, which is actually also a combat skill or battle skill to be more precise.
Up in the battle skills, right above the initiative.
And I think you have 7 dice, if I remember right. So go for it. And the zombie is going.
The zombie is moving towards me like this. Yeah, it's coming. It's do the zombie face. Prepare my spell over here.
It looks a little nervous.
And right when it's about 20 meters from me still, I will throw my frost bolts.
Very elegant way, I see.
Yeah. You can see the ice from my arms and then it shoots out.
Cool.
Yeah. 7 dice.
Go for it.
3 4s.
Oh, that's not a success. So you only get 1 success.
1 success because I have 1 5, 3 4s, and 3 3s.
Here I can add a little extra thing actually.
Yeah.
You have 1 luck. Luck is something everyone has, depending on it's like half your charisma. And luck is something you can use daily. And
so
it basically, you have 2 charisma.
I should have more.
You should have more. Sorry, I made this character to not be that socially. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. But you have 1 luck, which means that you have 1 daily reroll, and you can, if you want to, you can reroll a die and use your luck here if you want to.
I can reroll 1 die, and I have to have 2 success to this to make this.
No. You can also just have 1 success, but of course, the more successes you have, the more likely it is that it hits because it tries to dodge. Right?
I'll do that. I'll use 1 luck to reroll a die. Oh, dang!
Too bad.
Well.
Too bad. It was worth a try.
Yeah. So 1 success in total.
Yep.
What do we do now?
I roll my dodging roll because this zombie, although it's very slow, it can try to dodge your frostbolt. So I roll my dodging dice pool, which is 4.
Shit. And he just needs more than 1 or 1?
Just 1.
Just 1. Okay.
I got 2 successes.
So we have.
So the zombie goes like, and it basically, because it's a zombie, it stumbles.
Yeah.
And then shoots over it. It's not because it's really agile. I was just lucky.
All right. So my frost just goes right
over it.
Right over it, and it doesn't feel a thing. It is a zombie, so makes sense.
Actually, when you cast spells, if you get the more successes you get, you can actually have different effects on your spell. For example, Frostbolt.
Yeah.
If you have over 2 successes, so 3 successes or 4 successes, for example, you can also freeze the target a little bit so that it halves its movement and it deals more damage. Yeah.
And if I hit, I'm still standing in this position, trying to make the spell hit.
And what's your facial expression when you see that you don't hit?
I open my eyes slowly, and then I see the zombie is 10 meters closer to me.
Yeah.
Then I start to think about my next move here.
Yeah.
But what would have happened if I hit with my spell?
If it didn't dodge well, it would be hit, and then you would deal the 2 damage plus the extra successes you had over its successes.
All right, so I'd roll again, and then.
No, you wouldn't roll again. You would, for example, if you roll 2 successes, and it rolls 1 success on its dodging, you would deal it 1 damage, the exceeding amount, plus 2 for your frostbolt. So you were dead at 3 damage. Then it would have to soak that damage.
Okay.
You use the frostbolt, and the frostbolt costs 2 stamina to use.
Yeah. So, and soaking we'll get back to. Yeah.
Maybe the zombie hits.
And then I will have to use that.
Yeah.
All right. So I threw my spell.
Yeah.
Frostbolt. I failed. And how much stamina did I use on that?
You use 2 stamina, and if you want, you can do something else. You can use your wand maybe to attack it as well. Because in this game, it's not like in Dungeons & Dragons. There's not like a standard action or something. You can basically do several things if you want to. You just use more stamina. So if you like go all out and use a lot of things on one turn, that's of course cool. But then you would be like fatigued the next turn, and you wouldn't get as much stamina back.
So you just want to go all in and use all your stamina in one round, and then risk that the monster survives. The next round you're pretty, you're not as efficient. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not always a good thing to go all out. Yes.
But I think I would like to try to attack this zombie again. So can I run to it and punch it? How much stamina would that use my stuff?
Movement doesn't cost your stamina unless you try to move over your movement speed.
Okay.
And as a human, you have 10 meters of movement speed. We don't use a grid here to represent it. Normally, one square on a grid is like 2 by 2 meters. So 10 meters is 5 squares.
Yeah. Here would be fine. I move over to the...
Do you want to move over to it, or don't you want to use your wand? It's a ranged weapon.
Okay, I'll do that.
So
first
it's dangerous to get up close.
Alright, I'm just going to throw it, but just for you out there, you would also be able just to move after an attack and do something again if you hadn't used your movement. It's not like a phase.
Exactly. You can move a little bit and then shoot it with your wand.
Yes.
With your magic. Pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew.
Okay, but I'll just try again with my wand and do a ranged attack.
Yeah, and as far as I remember, your wand costs you 5 stamina to use.
Yeah. So how much do I have left? We have it down here.
Yeah. You used 2 stamina, now you used 5 more.
Yeah.
So you used 7 stamina.
You can follow it down here.
Exactly. And the stamina system uses D10s up there.
Yeah, might be up there.
Maybe it'll be up there. We'll see. So it uses D10s, and every time you use up 10 stamina of a die, it moves, as I'm illustrating right now, it moves on the track back and forth. But right now, Mikkel has only used 7 stamina, so it's still at the same spot. Mm-hmm. And depending on how much endurance a character has, he has a certain amount of stamina dice, which basically just means where he starts out on the track. Yeah. You want to use your wand?
I use my wand.
So what you do is you look here and you see how many, you have 4 dice.
4 dice.
To use.
In total.
When you attack with your wand.
And you write that in your weapon skills over here.
Exactly.
And I roll these. And let's see if the zombie can beat 2 successes.
That's a good roll.
2 6s, 1 4, 1 2.
Exactly. And the thing is, when you dodge in this game, every additional dodge in the same turn has a -1 penalty, which means 1 less die. So since this zombie just dodged before, it tried to dodge your frostbolt and did so successfully. But since it dodged once before, it has 1 less die now to dodge.
Interesting.
So now it only has 3 dice to dodge and 3 dice to roll 2 successes. That's not good odds. But let's see. No successes.
Yes.
So
I finally hit the zombie with my...
Ghamdalph hits the zombie with his magic wand, shooting a magic bolt of energy.
We should have a little clip here of my character Ghamdalph. You will see him here. Yeah. So Ghamdalph, he finally shoots with
So what happens now, you might ask.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, what happens now?
You wrote 2 successes. And since he or she didn't dodge any of your successes, that means that you deal damage. And here you go, and you say, how much damage does it deal? It deals 1 damage.
Parent these 2, what does that mean?
That's a special thing for wands, actually, for magical weapons, because if you didn't use a spell this turn, you would deal more damage with your wand, but that would mean that you had to be forced not to use a spell. And that's called a mana surge.
Okay.
And that's specific for magic wands and staffs. So, good question. But because you used a spell this turn, you only deal 1 damage. Actually,
and you can't soak that.
Actually, we forgot a little thing, and that was that when you attacked, you can declare if you want it to be a lethal attack or a non-lethal attack. And a lethal attack deals health damage, while a non-lethal attack deals stamina damage.
Okay.
So let's just say that you used a lethal attack.
Oh, you have used a lethal, yeah. Of course.
So,
I want to kill this thing.
Yeah, it's a zombie after all.
Yeah.
Come on. And since you have 1 damage, you add that to your dice that went through. It's dodge, and both successes went through. So that's 1 physical damage plus your 2 successes. So that's 3 damage.
3 damage.
And now the zombie has to try and soak these 3 damage.
Okay, so now we go into the soaking part.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's also a battle skill.
Yes.
And it has 4 dice to try and soak. 4 dice to try and soak 3 damage. That's not so good. Oh, it soaks 2 damage actually. That's pretty good, but it's not completely. So it gets 1 damage.
1 damage. I wonder how much life this thing has.
Actually, that's a good question. Because normally you keep track of damage with d4s. And if a monster is bigger, it can have bigger dice, but any player character uses d4s.
Okay.
And what that means is that whenever you take up to 4 damage on a die, it tracks your damage instead of what you have left of health. So whenever you take damage, you get a d4. For every d4 you have in front of you, you have a wound modifier, and that means 1 die equals -1 to all your rolls, except soaking rolls. That's the only exception.
Okay.
So basically, now since the zombie took 1 damage, even though it's only 1 damage, it has 1 d4 in front of it. And that means that it has -1 on all its rolls, except soaking
so
rolls.
it's actually pretty wounded.
Since it's a minion, it only has 1 d4. Normally you have several d4s you go through. But because it's a minion, it only has 1 d4, so it dies easily. Yeah. Basically, that's for when a GM like myself wants to throw a lot of puny monsters at a party and make them feel totally awesome. Not to berate your victory, but still.
Hooray! We killed the zombie! Hooray! Hooray! Banner.
It's cool to cleave through a lot of puny enemies until you get to the boss.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
It gets 1 damage, so it has -1
on everything.
on all its rolls. Yeah.
Great.
So now, do we want to do more, or do we want to conserve?
I want to save my stamina and let it have its turn.
Okay. So basically, if
I move 5 back.
Or you mean like 2 meters back?
Oh yeah, 2 meters back. Yes.
Okay. So now it's its turn.
Yeah. Zombie attacks.
Yeah. So the zombie moves, and the zombie only has a movement speed of 6 meters. But since we're not using a grid, I'll say isn't that 6 meters?
Yeah, 6 meters.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. So my little step back didn't work.
You're 2 meters.
And then it comes anyways, very slowly.
You're just standing there, kind of like in Austin Powers.
It's a zombie.
And the one slowly moves towards you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it tries to bite you. Exactly. So it has, let's see, it has 7 dice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh no. And rolls 2 successes. No,
Okay.
1 success. Only 1 success.
Weak. You are too weak to me.
So now you try to dodge it. So you roll your dodging roll. And how much do you have in your dodging skill?
My
Check
dodging
your character
skill,
sheet.
I have a total of 6
Yeah. So
dice pool. You can see it here, up here as well in your combat skills.
yeah, I'll just show it on the screen.
Of course.
Magic.
So 6,
Anything.
and I only have to roll 1 or more to avoid being damaged.
And
I
you
roll
did.
2 successes.
Yeah. So you go totally Matrix.
Yeah.
From its bite, it goes like, and it doesn't hit you at all.
The way down to the ground.
Oh,
But in a big horde,
forgot
they sucks.
I actually had worse odds than I let on because I've been damaged.
So you had 6 only.
I actually had 1 die less.
Then you have to roll again. Just kidding.
You don't want me to roll again.
You have to remember that if you have gotten damage, you have to remove dices from your attacks.
I forgot. And I made this game.
Yeah.
It happens. But
in the comments you can tell us how good a sign that is.
So basically it used 7 stamina. And since I don't want it to use over 10 this turn, I'm just gonna say that's it. That's its turn.
Okay. Now we
now
can
it's your turn
dance
again.
close over here.
Yeah.
And if I
Very, very romantic.
yeah, so that was my turn and the zombie's turn. And how do I kill the zombie then? If you just get minuses, I know on the sheet it has dying, but maybe you can explain this health and damage dice system. Yeah.
Because it's a minion, it only has 1d4 health. So basically, if you give it 4 damage, it's dead. But let's take you instead. Since you're a player character, you have more d4s. So basically, if you take from 1 to 4 damage, you get 1 die, 1 d4. So that's -1 on all your rolls. And then you get 2 d4s. And it stacks up until you get to the 5th d4. And that's where it gets interesting, because on the 5th damage die you get, you become incapacitated, which means that you're so broken down that you can't move. You can still act, but you're basically you can't move.
Okay.
And on the 6th die, you become unconscious, and you can probably guess what that means. You pass out. You pass out. Yeah. That can lead to that as well. And on the 7th die, if you get that much damage, you're dying. And if the 7th die ever reaches 4 damage, the very last damage die reaches 4, what do you think happens?
You dead, bro.
Yeah, you're dead.
Does this mean that on the health and damage you have a d4 for each of these?
Oh no! On the tracker you see on the character sheet, as I'll show the one that Mikkel is mentioning, it has like 4 boxes that says -1, and that's 1 die.
Okay, so which is just one.
One
of these.
Yeah, exactly, because it has 4 boxes. That's the one. That's all the sides, of the d4.
So you just turn it down.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
roll it down. You turn
you
it
don't roll
down.
it. You turn it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4 dice if you're a hero.
You have 7, because as the first 4 is just where you take damage and just have penalties.
And then here you die.
But after that, you still take minus. So when you're incapacitated, you're still at -5, and unconscious you're.
But this is just like this is 4. You
have
exactly. To go down.
It's basically 7 4-sided dice. As you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So it is. This is just Is it then difficult to die in the game, because I have just given the zombie 1 damage now, and if it's like 4 times 7, does it mean I have to give another hero 4 times 7's attacks like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then.
But basically,
And then dying and unconscious and all that is also not so good.
Yeah, exactly.
To be. Yeah.
Plus having 2 -1.
It's also really
it's
bad.
Really bad.
It's hard to win. That's true.
But as I mentioned earlier, you can also do non-lethal attacks.
Yeah.
Which don't damage you like this.
It takes stamina. It's like to the stomach. You can't do anything.
It takes the air out of you. So basically, that just means that you can do less. But yeah, that depends on what approach you want.
Yes.
Yeah, and depending on the weapon, some weapons are better at dealing lethal damage. Some weapons are better at dealing stamina damage.
And Andreas has been spending a lot of time really balancing this out, taking all like different possibilities the weapons can deal damage, and then balanced it out.
Now, if we look at your wand, it doesn't have anything in the value that says AP, for example. So we didn't use that. But if it had said something, it's armor penetration. So if this zombie had armor on, it would mean that it had less dice to soak, because your weapon pierces its armor.
Pierces through.
Yeah,
that's super cool. Yeah, but when you are heroes, adventurers, travelers, bards, you name it, it's hard to avoid combat, and you'll probably be meeting a lot of weird creatures, and you will have to fight your way out of it, or do other strategies. And this is basics.
Just a little example.
Little round of how it could go if you're one wizard against a sorcerer, or against a zombie.
If you face something that's very, very dangerous, you can also just run away.
And in this universe, in the Alethrion's world, zombies are really weak. No matter like what, you have to grow into some stronger beings. Zombies are dead and rotting away, so it's not a dangerous thing.
Yeah. So since this is a completely newly generated character, he doesn't have any experience or anything. So it was a good match.
Yeah, and they're still scary. They're still very scary zombies.
Yeah, they look scary. Yeah.
And
it tries to bite you and everything.
And like in all these series and other games, in big hordes, they suck.
Yeah.
Unless you
never get surrounded.
No.
So we would like to know if you have any previous experiences with the fun combat moments in role-playing games. That's what we're most thinking about, and but maybe in other situations as well. Not in real life.
And if you want
don't find real life.
And of course on tag.com at Alethrion or on Patron, you can still be a part of the beta of the RPG. It's coming out in physical shape when we have gotten all the feedback when people have played it.
Yeah, and a big thank you to everyone who has given a lot of feedback already.
It's amazing to see.
Cool. Really cool.
And
it warms my heart to see people, reading through something you've worked on for a long time. And putting effort into learning something you've developed. I can't explain with words.
No,
I can't explain.
We have been working on this game for is it 2 years now?
2 years, yeah, I think.
And
about right.
And I remember that in the very first time we talked about this game, I was also like, we should use 6-sided dice. But we have been through all the spectrum. We had like 8-sided dice.
We started out with 8-sided dice, but the big problem with that was you can't really buy 8-sided dice in bulk, in big quantities. So,
you can, but
it's not very easy, and it's not a.
You have to go to some nerdy shop, and you have to like play as much as we do. But
exactly.
Yeah, but let's know what you think in the comments. If you have some fun combat experiences in RPG, also write it below. And
and if you have any questions about what's been going on here, also just let me know. I'll try to answer it.
The T-Rex. Yeah, we shouldn't get into the T-Rex, but that's my companion. It's my pet.
Yeah.
And the others over here are zombies who doesn't wanna. They're not hungry right now.
Yeah, that's Rexy, and Rexy could see that you had everything under control, so he just he was just hanging back.
And also a big shout out for our patrons. It's amazing that you also make us continue. Making videos and also the animated episodes.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks.
We look forward to seeing your comments.
Yeah, and thanks for being here, liking, subscribing, everything. Yeah, playing the game, being interested in RPG games.